So today we're going to talk about the flow of the mind. I think it's an interesting topic, and I heard a lot of people talking about flow, you're in flow, and that kind of things. But what is it exactly? So today we're going to use the systems perspective to kind of talk about flow and to visualize it. And yeah, let's just get started. Because sometimes you are working something nice, like making a video, for example, and you're really in flow, you're really concentrating, and you're really doing a good job. But suddenly, bam, your mobile phone starts vibrating, and it distracts you from your flow. But then you read this WhatsApp message and you're totally immersed in the WhatsApp message because it's from a good friend, for example. And then you see a pop up from an email from your professor. You're like, wow, that's an important email. I start reading that email, and you're totally immersed and flow into that email. And then, well, suddenly your girlfriend comes and says, yeah, when are we going for that walk? Don't you want to go for that walk? We talked to when we want to go for that walk. So over time, you were kind of immersed into these different parts. First, you were focused on making the video, then on WhatsApp, then on the email, and then on your girlfriend. So this was actually quite good because you were really in flow at each certain moment. Just your transitions were just quite suddenly from the one point to the other point. But it could also be way worse. For example, when you're less in flow like this, you might be working on this computer and you get a WhatsApp and you're like, wow, I was making this video, and then you get the WhatsApp and then you rush back to this video, then to email, and then you're kind of this chaotic flow, which is not very nice in your mind because you're completely distracted every time by everything around you. And maybe the best thing to be really in flow is to really focus on this computer by isolating yourself from WhatsApp and your email, and maybe even your girlfriend, just focusing on the things right in front of you. This would be a long-term flow going from this direction in one single computer way. So over time you might want to switch from, you have to kind of balance yourself. You don't focus from the computer maybe to WhatsApp and then to your girlfriend, and then you look to WhatsApp and or you read this email. You focus on on making the video, and then you get distracted by WhatsApp again. Video is distracted, WhatsApp video distracted. Maybe on your girlfriend once more, and then you get kind of this pattern during the day of kind of dynamic patterns where you just mostly focus on some things, and these were, you can call these attractors, kind of where your attention is getting pulled to, and the kind of patterns that emerge over time from the system, redirecting its focus from itself to the environment. So that's kind of the balance between you and your environment. So you need to focus on yourself, while the environment can also well, uh, distract you from your own flow. But sometimes you can also kind of use the environment. You're using the environment to increase your flows. For example, when making a video, I'm using this computer, or when you play basketball, read a book, or having a sport fighting, or when you talk to your friends. Your environment, you can also really use your environment, and your environment can use you to get you kind of in this flow, and then you can see these object as an extension of yourself, and you don't really see this as separation between you and the environment, and really are some kind of dancing with the environment and understanding how it works. So if you have this player who is playing basketball, he's just standing there and he's using this ball. It's like, imagine you're throwing this ball and you don't really feel that there's so much of a separation between you and the ball, because like when you throw the ball, you are the ones who threw the ball, so it was within your control. So on that point you can kind of see that you're one with the ball as some kind of system who is extending itself towards the ball, and where the focus and flow is directly related to the environment. So for example, also when you're reading a book, you're kind of immersed into that book and don't really feel that strong separation between you and the book. But still, with that ball, you need to throw on a basket, for example, over here, which is a challenge from the environment, and which you need to overcome to be really in flow. And sometimes when you're a really good basketball player, you really know what this basket is going to do, and you really know your environment around you, and then you feel like you're really one with the environment and really start to feel in flow. But when we talk about the separation, about the environment and the self, you can see this metaphor of analogy of a river and its environment. So if we, for example, a river starts to flow somewhere, it starts to flow where the environment will let it flow. So the riverbank guides the flow of the river, while the flow of the river also makes a path into the riverbank. So the more water there will flow, the more deeper this riverbank will come. The more the river will flow to that point, and well, because the river is continuous kind of flow of energy, making the riverbank, while the riverbank is also guiding the flow of energy. So there's indeed a very strong interaction between the self and the environment, because they are influencing each other continuously. So altogether, that kind of leads to a physical structure in your brain and in your mind and in your body that is formed in a way that that guides the energy and the flow of all the um, well, body fluids, the blood and the glucose, um, guiding you towards different direction, because you're not one blank sheet anymore. You really have a pattern and habit of where you can go to and how you relate to your environment as well. Because there's also this environmental structure where you are using your environment to also get you in flow. So you might use an agenda to focus your attention on some things. You might use your phone or isolate you from your phone, and use music to structure your mind, um, or even use walls to separate you from your environment. So at some moment in time, you need to focus on some part, and you can, with your mind, you're guiding your river towards certain parts in your environment, and you can specialize and go on. But it's indeed related to your environment, so you can either choose whether you want to flow towards working at a company and being in flow there and challenging with it, making these videos, or drawing, or hanging out with your girlfriend. And some things might be more challenging than the other things, making it more easy to get in flow, but maybe the experience from even more attunement um, makes it more of a satisfying feeling to extend yourself across the larger environment. So what you should do to get in flow, you have to kind of choose your environment where you want to go to, and you can choose it on what you want to achieve or what kind of challenges you will desire, because it's a relationship between you and your environment, and you need to kind of pick what you can control, or what wants to be controlled by you. And then you need to play and communicate with your environment. You need to know how it works, and it needs to know what it wants from you. So when you, for example, drawing, you need to know how the pencils work, how the paint is working, how paint is working. If you want to work at a company, to know how the company is working, and the company also needs to know how you are working. So you are tuning and interacting with it, learning from each other. And through this attunement process, you kind of lose the separation between you and your environment, just as the basketball player, where you can really flow and use your become one and lose yourself, and use the environment to really get you in flow and get you flowing. So now you're not just the river, but now you're just the river, including the riverbank, extending yourself. And then maybe make some goals, but those could be mutual goals, where you become one with the environment. And well, that was almost it. But the last quite interesting thing is that this flow ranges across several skills. So from minutes to days to weeks, you have this flow of the mind that goes through places and kind of oscillates much more as a three-dimensional structure than just this 2D flowing structures. But that's just difficult to understand and to draw as well. So yeah, I think that kind of gets us in flow. And well, thank you for now for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you kind of agree with my metaphors and my understanding of it. Yeah, it will be nice to hear your opinions, and you can also watch other videos, and you'll read the description below, or go to my website. And I hope you enjoyed it. See you the next time.